Hey pals, welcome to day 4. You ready to just get this going? Here we go. 100 days, 100 miles, $100 treadmill. Hey pals, day 4 here. Thought we'd start off with a little bit of a Mr. Rogers vibe here. Got my Mickey socks on. I am ready to go. I really like these Nikes. They are the Nike React Escape RN. I think that stands for running, not registered nurse, but these are the shoes that have gotten me through Disneyland a couple of times. I really love them. All right, let's get walking. Come on, everybody, here we go. Get up to speed, and I'll start talking to you. For those of you who don't know what I'm doing when I'm saying, come on, everybody, here we go. It's from Peter Pan. It's the beginning of, he says that at the very beginning of the Peter Pan's flight ride in Disneyland. I don't know, it's just a cool thing, so I think it's cool anyway. I just wanted to start out with, again, it's so crazy that so many of you are walking along with me, and I love that. So thank you for the encouragement and the following, and guess what? Tomorrow you want to do this together live? Because I think that would be fun and possibly detrimental to my health. So what we're thinking about doing is, actually we're not thinking about it, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Is tomorrow night, that'll be Tuesday night, we are going to do a live stream so that you can walk along with me at the same time, same bat channel. And you can ask me questions live as we're going. You know, things I don't just have to ramble on my own without any input. So it'll be great fun for me and hopefully fun for you too. So that'll be tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. And we're doing it a little bit later like that because Chris is going to need to be here to handle the computer side of things because as you guys know, I am, I can have trouble just walking, talking to the camera and not paying full attention to where my feet are at all times. I have tried to throw myself off of this treadmill several times, but with the magic of editing, I look graceful. And you don't see those falls. Maybe I'll put a compilation together of my trips. Whoop, not gonna die on the treadmill today. But yeah, so he'll be able to help me with answering, telling me what you guys are asking, how you wanna interact. And the goal is to add this into our 100 days, 100 miles, $100 treadmill, do once a week, do the live stream so that it's something that both you and I can look forward to, that we can interact and just talk about what's going on that week. And I don't know, it'll also save me from one day of having to film and edit and do all these things, but that's beside the point. It's getting super exciting for me, actually, to get into that side of things. Yesterday's video was the first video that I that I edited by myself. And Chris helped me. He's been teaching me how to use, what is it called? DaVinci Resolve, to be able to edit my videos, to think about other angles to put in and how to fade other information in, and maybe photos and video. So like if you watched yesterday, I faded in some video of when we were at Oogie Boogie Night and we were walking through meeting the villains on the treat trails there. And so that you didn't have to watch me watching a video, you watching a video. You could just see it straight and clean. So that was really fun. Adding in the little extra things of, my feet and some more interesting angles. So it's not just my talking head with the Christmas tree behind me and possible Jimmy sightings. I mean, seriously, who can resist it? So yeah, having a really good time with that. Also learning to make those little thumbnails so that when you see the video on YouTube, it looks kind of professional, I hope. And yeah, just all of these things that Chris and I have been learning for a couple of years in preparation for doing some YouTube channels that are starting to come to fruition. They're strangely coming together, and suddenly, instead of this big amorphous can we make a YouTube channel thing, is now all of a sudden we're making a YouTube channel. So that part is really exciting for me. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was that yesterday the video from yesterday was a lot shorter than I intended it to be. And that is simply because I apparently I did like probably 10 minutes of content telling you about going to Disneyland for the first time and all these core memories I have from being a child. And I hadn't pushed the record button. So, congratulations. You get a more rehearsed version of that because I already talked about it yesterday. So, without further ado, I actually had more time to think about what I had talked about yesterday because I kind of started with, I don't think I was even 2 years old the first time that I went to Disneyland. My parents took me several times when I was very small, even before my brother was born. So I was only 2 years old when he was born. And so my earliest memories aren't necessarily real memories. I have stories that I know from pictures and from film that my parents took of me, of them, of all of us at Disneyland. And so I think some of those memories are just remembered things from photos, not from my actual memory bank. But there are some things that I absolutely do remember. And I remember a lot of Tomorrowland and thinking that it was so exciting. And that's probably just because my parents thought it was exciting. Of course, as a tiny little person, I wasn't going on big rides. I was doing things that were more of the experience attractions. And I remember Mission to Mars and the way that the seats, when you would take off, the seats would go down, and then when you got into space, they would come back up. And so it gave you kind of the illusion of the heavy gravity, and then you got light when you hit zero gravity in space. I remember that part. I remember there was a ride that cannot for the life of me remember what the name of it was at the moment. Inner Space? A Journey Through Inner Space, I think is what it was called. And it's where you got shrunk down to the size of an atom as you were going through this ride. And I remember someone asked me also about not just memories, but was there ever anything that scared me? And that ride there was a part where you went under a microscope and you looked up, and you were like the size of a cell. And you looked up, and it was this giant microscope and an eye looking down at you on like you were on the slide on a microscope. And I was fascinated and terrified. I think I had nightmares about giant eyeballs following me. Probably still do, but but I definitely, don't remember the whole ride, but definitely remember that. And then my biggest core memory there is going to Moments with Mr. Lincoln. I was that kid, even at 2 and 4 years old. I have a distinct memory of going into the theater, seeing Mr. Lincoln stand up and give his speech. And I think that everything that Walt Disney ever hoped for a child to experience, hearing Lincoln talk for the first time, was what happened to me. I was enamored. Lincoln to me was like he was just as big as Mickey Mouse to me at that point. He became one of my heroes throughout my life, still is. The other part of seeing that is that they used to have, you would come out of the show, and now where there's like a hallway and there's a lot of photos and kind of a timeline of the park, there used to be booths set up where you could pick up a telephone and talk to a particular president. And I wanted to talk to Mr. Lincoln so bad. And this is definitely a distinct memory that I have, is walking up to that booth, picking up that telephone that was, the old handheld telephones. It was bigger than my face, but I knew exactly what it was for. And there was a cast member on the other end that didn't matter to me that it wasn't Lincoln. I was 2 years old. I believed I was actually talking to President Lincoln. And I just remember the feeling of awe, and that I felt so special that he had answered the phone and was talking to me. Because of course it wasn't until much later in my life that I really learned his history and that he probably wasn't alive and talking to me in Disneyland, but that's a crazy memory that I have, that it's probably one of my earliest memories I have. And I don't know, that's a pretty good earliest memory to have, I suppose. I guess a little bit different angle. You'll get me walking forward now, which might make a little more sense because I'm looking at you while I'm walking. Mostly I just don't like to look directly into the camera and see myself while I'm doing this. It gets me a little more self-conscious than just looking away. How far have we gone? We have gone about a half a mile so far. I've slowly started ramping up the speed every day so that I'm getting better at walking and talking at the same time. Anybody who's been to Disneyland with me knows that I will not stop to take a breath when I'm there because I want to tell somebody trivia about every place we're at. I want to talk about the last time we were here. I want to talk about the time that we're here now. I have a lot of friends who always say, oh my God, it'd be so fun to go to Disneyland with you. And that's just because they've never been to Disneyland with me, because I figure as long as you're the kind of person who just wants to come along for the ride with what I want to do, we're going to get along just great. I tend to do that thing where the way that my brain works is, if I'm having a good time, you must be having a good time too. I don't know. I'm just a dork that way. I mean, I'm not rude about it, but I know what's fun, and I'm going to show you what's fun. We almost have enough to do a whole video this time. Is 20 minutes good for you guys? I mean, I feel like that gets you a good amount of time to work out with me while you're watching this. But I also don't know if it's just too much of me talking. And bottom line is, I'm going to be doing this anyway, and it's good for me to be walking and talking at the same time. It's getting me in better shape a lot more quickly than I thought it would. So there's that. I was just telling Chris the other night how it's like I've been practicing for this my whole life, because I used to do things with, especially with my cat Yuki, who just passed away this year. She used to come into the kitchen and she would sit on the edge of the table while I was cooking, and Jimmy sighting. She would sit on the edge of the table while I was cooking and across the room from me, and I would pretend like I was doing a cooking show, all for my cat. Like, first we need these bowls, and then we're gonna need to put in 2 cups of flour, and that's the kind of personality that you get when you live alone for a long period of time. And the only creatures you have to talk to are your cats. I've been practicing, and this is where we're at. I mean, I'm glad for it. It makes me a little more comfortable with talking to you as though you are there and listening, because eventually you are. You're just not here right now as I'm doing it. I'm not making myself sound any less crazy, I realize. Okay, well, I think we need to speed this up a little bit and see if we can get to, what ride do we need to get to quickly today? Let's see, what's another favorite? We need to get to, I know where we need to get to. There's a bestie out there who wants to get to Big Thunder Mountain. Yeah, pals, let's go. Oh, I can hear it now. It's wonderful. Let's get there. Woohoo! I hear all those other people having fun. Gotta get to the train. Yeah. Such good stuff. That goat's got dynamite. Ah! And we've done our mile. Woohoo! All right, pals, that's another mile in the books. Good job. That's day 4 of 100 miles in 100 days on a $100 treadmill. And don't forget to join me live tomorrow, Tuesday, December 9th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll do a live stream. Yeah, we'll walk together at the same time. I'll wear ears. Bring yours too. Bye, pals. That's nice. Back into the slippers.